Welcome back to Awaken Atlanta. I am Tim Ray, and Shannon McVeigh is sitting next to me, the big flat earther. And we have...
I thought you were going to say big and flat. I'm definitely round, Tim.
Yeah, she's definitely round.
I believe in what my belly is, round. The earth is round.
Before we bring Flat Earth Dave in, let me read a couple of comments here. Shannon, your baby bump is the cutest, so beautiful, makes my day seeing you. Tuesday, my fave.
Thank you.
Dave said, hung out with my cousin over the weekend who got his 17-year-old triplets vaxxed. Isn't that horrible? My God. Do Smash ever put the Instagram handles up? Ashley, put the Instagram handles up.
They were.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
put them up again, Ashley.
Jeez, yeah.
Vampire Ashley.
Yeah.
It's so funny that they called them vampires because when we went to them, they really do look like vampires. Just put the camera on you guys.
I guess some like blood dripping from your mouth and some fangs.
Real quick, Woke said harmful information sounds like mainstream media. That sounded like a bunch of bullshit.
Well, that's the mentality out there. People don't want to hear new information. They can't use their own critical thinking. Give somebody a chance. You don't have to agree with them.
Yeah.
Just hear them.
Let's bring in Flat Earth Dave so he can make believers out of us. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me. I've been listening for the last 20 minutes, and I am honored to be on your last broadcast ever because the amount of truth you guys are throwing out there, I don't know how this is going to stay on the air.
Oh, I love you. I love you already. Whatever you believe, I believe.
Wow. And it's not about believing. You know, people believe they live on a ball, but they don't know it. They believe it because they were told stuff by a guy in a bow tie who's a liar, Bill Nye the lying guy.
Yeah.
And they have a false understanding of what flat Earth is, right? So what Globers, that's what I call these people, think flat Earth is ridiculous, and I would laugh at it too. None of us think that, right? This is what Globers think flat Earth is. This is not. We're not a disc floating in space with a bunch of balls or other flat discs. It's nothing like that at all.
Huh.
What is it?
Yeah, so what is it? So think about this. A pond is where water accumulates. It doesn't accumulate at the top of a hill. It accumulates in the low spot in the land, and the edge of the pond is where the land is higher than the water. The land is the container for the pond. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat. They need a container. Like if you're going to go in your hot tub, if the hot tub disappeared, so does the water.
So it's like a
water
bucket.
needs
it's like
water
a
needs
bucket.
water needs a container. So what flat Earth is Antarctica is not an island at the bottom of a ball, right? That's what they tell us. It's an island at the bottom of a spinning ball in a space vacuum. That's a problem. It is the land that surrounds the world pond, right? So the world is 70% water. It's measurably, testably, provably, observably flat. All of the islands, the continents are surrounded by water, but the water is surrounded by Antarctica. Antarctica is the container of the world pond. How big is Antarctica? Well, we don't know. No one's allowed to go beyond 60 degrees south. There's no independent travel out in Antarctica. Antarctica could very likely be bigger than all of the continents combined and all of the oceans combined.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I want to give you major kudos for having this awesome presentation. You've got to be my favorite guest already for even having this. What about when you fly and you see the curvature? Is that in our minds?
Yeah, there's two things. First, when you're looking forward, assuming the conditions are equal all the way around, the sky compresses and touches the ground at like 30 miles away from ground level. I mean, the clouds are literally touching the horizon the way your eyes see. So that's your horizon. So you see the same distance in all directions, right? And then if you flip that, where am I going here? If you flip that down, so you're standing here, you see this is the limit of your vision. And if you draw a line over that, you see this curve, and your programming tells you that's a sphere, right?
Yeah.
So that's how our eyes work. But think about this. I'm using their math. Excuse me. I'm trying to find a graphic as you complimented me.
Dave, why are you looking for that? So if we're in this kind of bucket thing, why can't we see Antarctica then, if that's like the highest level?
Well, so the answer is we can't see far because of the thickness of the atmosphere. Just like when you're in a swimming pool, you can't see the far end of a long swimming pool, even though the water is perfectly clear. The atmosphere is the same way. I'm showing you an image here of Illusia, France, and it's a famous viewing spot because when you look out here, Mount Canigou is out here. It's 175 miles away. Well, you can't see it because the light bouncing off of Mount Canigou can't push through the atmosphere, but the light of the sun can. And on a couple days a year, two times a year, when the sun lines up with Mount Canigou and this viewing spot, all of a sudden you can see Mount Canigou because it's being backlit. And the very top of Mount Canigou should be a mile below the curvature. But it's not. It's right here. It's not a mirage. And the mainstream science will say, well, the sun is already set. Mount Canigou is already a mile or so below the horizon, and it's refracting up and stopping at eye level. That's pseudoscience.
Okay.
That's nonsense.
So, Dave, now people can say, well, that picture was doctored or whatever, but how can people prove that themselves that they want to go
They can go there and do this. Everything I'm telling you, do not believe me. These are things you can do yourself. Unlike NASA, everything they tell us is pseudoscience. They won't even have this discussion.
I don't trust NASA at all. Yeah.
Oh, please. I can destroy NASA if we had time. I mean, completely destroy them. They are a Hollywood space agency. That's it. No one's been into space, right? That's going to trigger a lot of people.
Now, hold on. Now, before you that is not a trigger.
I have a question.
Okay, you said something very important.
Fine, go. It's going to be, you read my question. Is it about the galaxies in the universe?
No.
Okay.
This question is, okay, so no one's been in space, but however, the people I spoke to, people who are supposedly credible, said that they lied about the space trip because they didn't want people to realize that people are already, and aliens are already in space. We've been industrializing our solar system. We've been industrializing our solar system for a long time, right?
Cool story.
But so here it is. They're saying we've been in space, just not on the what we've been sold in Hollywood and NASA, but we've been out there. So you say no one's in space.
If I show you NASA faking stuff on the space station just once, that should be enough to unwind it.
I agree with you. I believe they faked it. I'm saying, but they faked it so they wouldn't assume that we're out there.
You think that they faked like going to the moon?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not because of aliens on the other side or anything like that. I used to believe that too. Okay. But here's something recently from the space station. They got some fresh fruit up there from the delivery. And watch, this is augmented reality. That lemon isn't there. It's a virtual reality object, right? They've been caught doing this before. They were teaching a bunch of kids, watch, this ball is real. It's filled with helium, so it floats. Here is a fake, not real CGI object. I'll show you again. Watch, it's not there, and now it's there. Right. And now she's manipulating it. It's called augmented reality, and they're manipulating things. They either are wearing contacts or watching a screen that's behind the camera, and that's how they maneuver things around.
Okay,
there's so much.
I agree with you on that because I mean they can make Shannon here act like this far leftist person and say words out of her mouth and it's all CGI. I mean I get that. I get that part. Good.
Why? I know the moon landing. Okay, they faked it because of the space race, because of aliens, whatever. Yeah. Why are they faking stuff on the space shuttle? Look at this guy. He's hanging from a harness. Okay, he's not floating. He had this guy floats by while these two guys in the foreground are flipping their CGI objects around.
Yeah. Okay.
He's on a harness.
Okay, but then what do you think about galaxies and other dimensions and things like that?
Well,
the universe,
the other dimensions,
system.
that works perfectly on a flat. The solar system is nonsense. If you actually look at Mars, this is what Mars really looks like because our optics, today's consumer optics, have outgrown their lies. So when we actually look up, this is what we're actually seeing. And NASA shows us this CGI, drawing or painting of this dusty, dirty ball. How does a dusty, dirty ball appear brighter than any star in the sky when it's like 40 million miles away? How is that? Or 25 million, whatever the distance is. Yeah. How does it appear brighter than any star in the sky?
So answer that question, Shannon.
Well, it's because it's bigger.
Light as it travels gets dimmer exponentially. Light exponentially gets dimmer. This is the star Arcturus, one of the brightest stars in the sky. Does that look like anything what NASA shows us? Right? Here's the star Capella. Right? This is what stars are: energetic light sources. We don't know what they are. They might be sentient for all we know, but they're here. They're close. They're in the Earth system. Scientifically, we can prove, if we want to go through the numbers, that you couldn't see a star at the distances they tell us. If Polaris, our star, was just 6 light hours away, it's provable that it's too small to see. Okay, it's provable, but they tell us it's 433 light years away. Okay, that's a little bit more than 6 light hours.
So to your point here, and this is where I'd love to hear somebody say the opposite here too. Is that if there's supposedly the theory is that we're moving through space, the solar system's rotating around the sun, and the solar system is rotating around the galaxy is rotating around the universe. So we're moving all the time. That's the common beliefs in.
We're corkscrewing through space, traveling millions and millions and billions of miles.
Yes, but to your point, how are the stars still in the same location?
Because we're not moving. Because if we were corkscrewing,
wait, you're saying we're not moving?
Yeah.
So the Earth is not moving. The Earth does not move at all. So this is the nonsense that they want us to believe. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. That means when I'm watching the sunset, it's not moving. I'm falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. That's nonsense. We're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour. We're chasing the sun at over 500,000 miles per hour, and that entire system's moving sideways at millions of miles an hour. Okay. and then somehow all of the stars remain the same. Are you guys familiar with the Georgia Guidestones?
Yeah, we did a show on that.
Yeah, we're gonna do a show on that.
Yeah. Did you know that the Georgia Guidestones are a clock? They're a clock and a calendar.
Yes, they are.
So there's this little hole right here. When you look through it, now we're corkscrewing through space, traveling billions and trillions of miles. Okay, when you look through that, you see the star Polaris, which is our North Star. Right? How is that possible? You do a time lapse, all of the stars spin around. That proves beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Earth doesn't move. Continental drift isn't even happening. Nothing happens. We don't move.
Okay, so to answer this question here.
Wait, do you believe the Georgia Guidestones to be true?
You know what?
Well, they're talking about population control right
We've been following them for years, and it's sure lining up with their goal of reducing the population.
I did a show on frequency where it's called "The Life Under Noahide Laws." I think they're just Noahide laws, just transferred and transposed into different language. Same thing. Yeah. So good. Real quick here. So explain this: the time zone situation here. If we're flat Earth and the time zone, they're saying that there's no way you can explain 3 hours behind the light and dark.
I actually can't explain it perfectly, and it makes zero sense on a ball Earth. For one thing, think about this: when you hate
ball earthers,
I don't hate ball earthers. I used to be one. They're just a little sleeping.
See the baller.
Yeah. So when you have a single source light, a sun, and a sphere, no matter where you move the sun or how you tilt or spin the sphere, the sun will light up exactly half of the ball. That's something you can test and prove yourself. But when we look at time and date, they show us the light patterns on the Earth. There's less than half. Then there's more than half where the sun wraps around. And we have a glass dome here and a light, and I'm just moving the light a little bit, and it's making the same patterns. So this shows that, hey, we can create the same patterns that they tell us on Earth, but this is impossible on a globe with a single source light.
Okay. What? Okay,
so
go ahead.
You're saying it's the positioning of the light is how the time zone's different.
Well, no, I'm going to show you how the time zones. I'm going to share my screen for a second here. But you mentioned earlier, one of the questions was, what's the most abundant element in the atmosphere? Yeah. It's nitrogen. Yeah. Nitrogen fluoresces blue. Just think about that. The sun is electric in nature. It is here within the Earth system. And think about this: if you put a houseplant in front of a fire and one in front of a electric light, one of them's going to grow, one of them's going to shrivel up and die. The sun is sending electricity here to Earth. That is how solar panels work. They collect electricity. They don't collect photons. Okay, they're collecting electricity.
So photons you're saying photons is a lie?
You know what, the description of what a photon actually is, I think it's misdescribed, but I won't get into that because that's
complicated.
That's just complicated wordplay. Right. So I'm going to show you how time zones work, and can I share my screen here?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay, this is an app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It shows you how the sky is a perfect clock. The sun is the hour hand, but right now we're in fake daylight savings time, so the sun's missing. It's off the hour hand because that's the real time. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. The sun goes around once every 24 hours, so it keeps track of the hours and the days. It laps the moon. As you'll see, it's getting closer to the moon. It laps the moon every 28 times around. So the moon phases and position keep track of the weeks and the months. There used to be 13 moons, but they changed it to 12 months. So that keeps track of that. Then I turn on the stars, and the stars spin just slightly faster than the sun. They lap the sun once a year. So that's going to go around 365 times before it laps. Right now, the sun is in whatever constellation it's in, and next month, Cancer will catch up to it. So the Tropic of Cancer, and it'll be in Cancer for a month, and it'll be in Leo for a month, and that's how the sun is always in a certain constellation. The moon, because it's going much slower, will move every 3 days into another constellation. So time zones. That was your question. Yeah. Time zones work like this. The time zones spin with the sun. Wherever it's noon, wherever the sun is, it's noon. So I'll stop it right now. And in Australia, it's 9 p.m. in Central Australia. And it's 2:00 in the afternoon. Wait, where am I? Did I stop the right time? It's 2 p.m. in Central Africa. Okay. And then we're down here. It's 9:16 a.m. Because the time is actually an hour off because we're on this daylight savings time. But if I turn that off,
let me ask my question.
Can I ask one question? Yeah. One question is really important. So Dave, for this time zone to be true, what you're saying, somebody has to be controlling the sun and moving it around manually.
Somebody. You're saying somebody. So
Right.
what Flat Earth proves is that this world is intelligently designed. Something less spectacular would be a tornado going through a New York City junkyard and building a fleet of 747s. That would be less spectacular than the Earth being an accident. Okay. So the Earth is intelligently designed. That's all I'm saying about that. It's intelligently designed. So the sun is not what we think it is. It's not a burning ball. It's not a physical mass. So the sun that we see is an apparent sun. Kind of like if you and I were standing outside looking at a giant mirror with the sun setting behind us and we're 20 feet apart, and I sent a third person up to the mirror and I said, hey, draw a circle right there with a Sharpie. That's where I see the sun. They're going to draw a circle for your sun 20 yards apart from mine, or however far away you are. So we see the sun in an apparent position.
Hey, so Dave, okay, I get that. So Dave, now people are staying on the stars. You're not looking at the stars. You're looking at where the star used to be, and we're seeing the light come to us thousands of years later.
Cool story, bro.
Well, I mean, but why is that? That makes sense to me too. I mean, why does that make sense to you?
I mean, because scientifically we can prove that that's not the case at all. I mean, that's what they tell us because they have no other explanation. But if the sun was right here next to the Earth, it would fill the entire sky. Move it 93 million miles away, and it's the size of a coin held at arm's length. If I made it 24 times farther, there's no way you could see it. That's only 3 light hours away. We're seeing stars that are hundreds and hundreds of light years away, thousands of light years away. That is a silly story that has no proof, and it's actually scientifically can be proven ridiculous.
All right, Shannon has a dying question.
Well, this is the thing. It's like, I believe, yes, you guys are having a very intelligent conversation, but I believe that layman's terms is equally important to ask for people like me. So Let me ask my dumb question. What is above the freaking globe? What's above you're saying?
The flat Earth.
What's above the flat Earth? So again, nothing, there's nothing. Anything that's above where we can reach is speculation. We don't know what's up there, right? That they put a dome over us. Well, I'm not saying there's a dome. Hear me out.
Okay.
I'm saying that NASA put up they said, we have the Van Allen radiation belts. We can't go through them, but somehow we went through them to go to the moon. But now we don't know how to get through them again. I mean, it's the dumbest thing ever. But when you watch a rocket, a NASA or a SpaceX rocket go up, it goes up, it curves out, and it crashes in the ocean. And you don't see that. It just goes out of your range. But there was a rocket called the Go Fast rocket, which took off. A bunch of amateurs did it, and it took off in Arizona, and it went up 73 miles straight up. We had an uninterrupted video feed of it, and then it kind of looked like it hit something. It went kerplunk, but then when it was going, and I'm trying to find the video while I'm talking to you, of course, it kind of hit something. Like it went into a thicker medium. Not saying what it is, just saying interesting observation. But one of the things that happened when it was up there, it actually saw the moon, and the moon was over New Zealand at that time.
Okay,
right?
so when I'm in an airplane, Dave, why can't I see this this flat Earth aspect? I see a curvature. I see a glow.
Here to explain that at the beginning. Sure, I was playing tricks on you.
Yeah, I was playing tricks.
So
that means all these pilots are under the same. Conspiracy.
Well, no, not true. Long distance pilots, most of them know. Lots of them have admitted it. The Qantas pilots, they all know. They talk about it in their lounge, but they can't talk about it publicly. We interviewed a KLM pilot. Next day, she was fired. Okay, for showing us evidence of a flat Earth. Think about this: at 39,000 feet, according to Globe Math, you should be able to see the horizon at 242 miles away. Well, that would be, if you're standing on the ground, 242 miles would be a drop of 39,050 feet. So you have to add the 39,050 and the height of the altitude to know that the horizon that you see right outside your window at eye level should be 78,000 feet below you. That's the U-2 spy plane doesn't even fly that high. So when you look out of both sides of the windows and you see that horizon at your eye level, and now it looks curved a little bit for a couple reasons. One, because of the way we see, and two, because the windows are curved. But it's still at your eye level. It has to be 78,000 feet below you. Why does it look like it's at eye level? And the answer is because the Earth is flat.
So I always wish they had like windows in the airplane ceiling so you could see above you, but they don't have that.
Woke wants to know about Pangea, Pangaea.
Yeah, Pangea.
So Pangea is the story that all the Earth, the continents were together and then they're all slowly drifting apart. If the Earth was spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, besides us all being dead and it exploding, all of the continents and water would accumulate at the equator due to centrifugal force. But that's not what we see. the continents are not moving. They tell us they're moving like 5 inches a year or something. They're not moving.
Well, there's
the
erosion.
Georgia Guidestones have been
going
up.
on. I mean,
what's that? There's erosion, sure, erosion and drifting and stuff. But the continent itself is not moving.
All right. So the Guidestones, you said, proves that. However, okay, so these pilots that are coming out, I mean, why are they not all over the truther sites and everything? And why are
because they lose their livelihood.
Like mainstream media doctors, Tim.
Yeah, but there are mainstream media doctors coming out and telling us this, and they don't care about the livelihood anymore.
Right,
When they retire, why aren't they telling us this?
Right. There are some that have come out and they no one's listening to them. Do you know that a Polish astronaut last year or 2 years ago came out and said that we never went to space and the Earth is flat? Nobody cares. Buzz Aldrin was interviewing a little girl, and she said, "Why don't we ever go back to the moon?" And he said, "Because we never went."
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
So check this out. To go from Santiago to Australia, they go all the way up to the north, across and down. And if you want to go to Western Australia, it gets worse. They go all the way up here, all the way over to Europe and Dubai, and then they go down. Why would they make that route instead of just cutting across the bottom of the ball? And the answer is because the Earth is flat. You go up across America, Europe, Dubai, Western Australia. It's a straight line.
Why?
Airplanes fly straight and level over Earth planes.
So
they don't fly like that.
That was an interesting thing. So
But why do they want us to think that it's not flat then? Why would they want us to think that we spin and all that stuff?
Good question. Best question ever. So the answer is, yeah, the answer is it's all about control. When you wake up to the truth, they lose control because they want us to think that we are random specks flying through an infinite universe where an asteroid could take us out in a godless or distant god at best universe where you're out of control. You're spinning in 4 different directions at once, and you're afraid of everything from nuclear bombs to viruses to running out of food, running out of water. All of that is nonsense, as you guys know. It's all nonsense. Well, right?
I will say this: there's been and I want to hear a Flat Earth's perspective on this. There's been a uptick and people realizing there's this satanic Luciferian agenda going on in the world, right? From child sacrifice, everything going on. So you're saying the people who put us in this flat Earth scenario are who?
In this globe scenario, this is the Bilderberg Group, the Council of Foreign Relations, the United Nations. These are the royal families, the banking families. These are the people that we know. The people above, there's controllers above them that we don't even know. They control all of the world, and they're trying. And right now, they're making they're going for it. They're going for it. They're going for their new world order.
Yes.
Get ready for the alien invasion. Let me finish what I was saying about this. Okay. So instead of feeling out of control, spinning out of control, where you're helpless and living in fear. They don't want you to know that you're at the center of creation, that this place was created for us, that we're having a physical experience here in this realm, and that nobody has dominion over you. Imagine if everyone woke up tomorrow and said, I don't believe anything the CDC says or the government says, and I'm not going to listen to them anymore. Well, they're gone. They're done. Right. They have zero power. The only power that they have is in your head.
I agree,
I agree with that too.
They don't want you to know that you have God-given free will, right? And nobody can break that. But they can trick you. And the thing is, I think there's rules. The rules are they kind of always have to tell you the truth. So they tell us the truth. They tell us the truth all the time. All these mistakes that NASA makes, they're just showing us how ridiculous that things are.
I always say that.
And they there's mainstream articles. Look on the CDC website. They talk about the number of deaths. Go look at the VAERS report. I think it's 4,000 people have died in the United States, and that's probably only 1% of the truth.
Right.
So they're always telling us that way. They're like, oh, we told you. It's crazy. I mean, think about this. You're a drug company, some of them, they're all criminal companies. They've all paid billions in fines for fraud and all sorts of stuff. They're completely not liable, right? Yeah. They're completely not liable.
I get that. So you're saying the overall plan is to keep us in this flat Earth because they're manipulating the control.
Keep us in this globe. You're getting it backwards.
Who's watching us in the dome? Who's above the dome?
If I said you guys can no longer leave Atlanta, which we're almost getting to that point, you wouldn't be happy. Yeah. No matter how big the fence is, humans aren't happy. So instead of putting a fence around us, when they abolished slavery, they just included everyone in slavery, and they put a fence around us, which is the globe. It's a prison for your mind, right? What if there's more land beyond Antarctica? Here's a map that was discovered in Hawaii. It's 10 centuries old, showing all of these continents beyond Antarctica, right? Fascinating. What if there was other lands out here, extra terrain, right? More land, extra territory. You might call somebody that lives out there an extraterrestrial in the outer space. They always tell us the truth of what's going on.
Okay, but now you're saying that destroys the dimension perspective, right?
Well, no, I believe that there's dimensions. I believe that there's a heavenly realm, a non-physical realm above us. Look up. It's right there. I believe there's a more dense realm below us. I can't prove it because the deepest anyone could go is 7.5 miles where they hit an impenetrable barrier. There also seems to be some sort of barrier above us. So it's called Project High Jump. No, not Project High Jump. Project Fish.
What about the CERN experiment? They're doing interdimensional. They're doing dimensional piercings and things like that. Supposedly, you think that's all lies?
Cool story, bro.
How do you do that?
My mind is just blown.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just
Right.
like,
well,
there's so much.
if we had more time, I do have a lot more questions for you. But Dave,
You freaking took over. I get so angry with you for not letting me ask my questions.
Mark Sargent's all yours. All right.
Mark Sargent's coming on. Mark's great. Listen to him. And we're trying to figure this thing out. But what we all agree on, some people believe there's a dome. Some people believe it's an endless plane. Some people believe it's a flat top. These are things that we need to discuss. But what we all know and can scientifically prove, there is no globe. We're not a globe flying in an infinite vacuum. That's impossible. How much time do I have? 30 seconds?
I want to hear about your app. Okay.
So I'm offering 2 Bitcoins for anybody that thinks flat Earth is stupid that can give me 1 proof of the globe, right? Wow. So if you go in the app, there's a featured video of the day, and I say watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks, right? Very easy. When you're having your breakfast, watch the video.
Brainwash.
And then go verify these things yourself, because if you Google flat Earth, you end up at the Flat Earth Society. You end up at nonsense sites that are gatekeeping your mind. All of the results you get are disinfo results.
Controlled opposition.
They're just nonsense, and you won't learn anything new, and then you'll just give up and go, "Oh, flat Earth is stupid." But do this, and then in the app, there's a frequently asked question button. All the questions you can ask. What about boats over the horizon? What about seasons? What about time zones? What about eclipses? It's all in there, and all the videos that it will feed you are ones that are hidden on Google. And then I'm offering 2 Bitcoins, 2 for 1 proof of the globe.
I love that. I love that you're putting it out there, Dave.
You're educating.
So, Dave, people can go to this app. What is it called?
It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's on Apple.
Jesus,
you have to have an iPhone 6 or better. It works on iPad. Also, it's on the Google Play Store for Androids. You have to have an operating system 8.0 or higher. But make sure it's by Blue Water Bay, because there's already a Flat Earth Society knockoff where they stole my graphics and stuff. The app is horrible. If you get it, just don't send me an email telling me my app sucks, because it's not my app. My app is the highest rated app in both stores. Okay. Everyone loves it. Just read the reviews and you'll become a flat earther.
Wait, you believe in the Zodiac?
No, the zodiac are the stars that spin around us, right? Whatever they mean, it doesn't matter. But if you go out tonight and look at the stars at 10 p.m., midnight, whatever, and do a little star chart next year, same night, same time, even though we're billions of miles from where we were, every star will be in the exact same place because they're spinning around above us. The sky is a clock, keeping track of massive cycles, ages. It's amazing what you'll learn once you open your eyes and stop laughing at flat Earth.
Okay, last question, because we got to go. Is this a spiritual experience that we're having here in your perspective?
I believe it is. It's a spiritual war that's going on, and that's how they get away with it, because they've convinced people to think that spirituality isn't even real, that there's only this here.
Yeah.
We're in these meat suits, and then we die and we're worm meat.
That's true.
I don't believe that at all. We're having this experience here. We're having an experience where our souls are maybe coming from the heavens above, maybe from the stars, which are here, and then we're having an experience expanding the mind of the creator, whoever that might be. That's your own personal relationship. But we're having this experience here, and it's an amazing thing. And the people that are controlling us, they don't want us to know any of that's real. They want us to think that we have to bow down to them. We don't have to bow down to any of them. It's all nonsense.
Tommy has a question for you.
It's not a question, Dave. I just wanted to say that you convinced me. I'm a big flat earther now. The visuals got me. I love your message, man. I mean, it's really awesome, man.
Tommy, you're so easily convinced.
Well, no,
listen,
it's the whole thing about breaking reality. He did that for me.
Yeah, and this is the most important topic. Why are you talking about this? There's all this stuff going on in the world. Why are you talking about flat Earth? Because if we ever get our freedom back, how long can we keep it when the controllers know that the real story of this world? If you think you're spinning out of control, lost in space, how are you ever going to make a real solid decision, right? There's so much to this that, we need 5 hours to scratch the surface. Yeah, sure. Okay.
I agree with you. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up for your app. I'm going to go to Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app on my app account, on my app, whatever. Download that. And then for a week, I can kind of get caught up on what you know and sharing of why the Earth is flat. And then I can ask questions and try to win my 2 Bitcoins.
Absolutely. And if you want to go, right next to the video thing, there's an archive button, which is all of the videos that have been on the app. Because you're going to be like, I don't want to wait until tomorrow. Yeah. You're going to hit that button, bring food and water. I
love Dave, the Flat Earth guy.
You have been one of my favorite guests.
Dave,
Thank you so much.
Dave, change your name to Dave the Flat Earth guy. I think that's
Flat Earth Dave. Flat Earth Dave. That's what people call me. Hey, so the final thing I want to say is don't let them control your mind with cartoons, right? Because that's what they do. They look at us as children. They're controlling our mind with cartoons.
Yes.
These are all cartoons. questions.
Excellent. Dave, you're wonderful. Thanks for joining us. We'll definitely have you back. I think eventually we should have a Flat Earth 3.0.
We will.
We will.
You protect me if your followers start hating on me for asking questions.
Listen,
Dave.
you're gonna get trolls are gonna follow you. But the people that when I heard about Flat Earth, I banned people from my social media for even suggesting that I look into it on my other podcast. So for those people, if you're so adamant that this is the dumbest thing ever, come collect your Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I only
he's
need
calling
one
you
proof
out.
of the.
He's calling you out.
I only need one proof of the globe. And any other shows that have an audience that want to expose their audience to this, info@theflatearthpodcast.com. Send me your information. We'll have a discussion, and we will we'll book a show.
Hey, Dave.
Thank you.
Dave says 2 Bitcoins is $70,000.
It'll be worth a lot more than that, in my opinion, soon.
Wow. Wow. Look at
Yeah.
that. Well, wonderful. Dave, you're incredible. We have to have you back and talk more. There's so many layers of this that we haven't touched on. So thanks again for coming on.
And you can find me at theflatearthpodcast.com, the Flat Earth Podcast on your podcast players,
All right.
Flat Earth Podcast on Instagram.
Perfect.
That's it.
Do you and Mark Sargent party together? I just would love to show up to one of those.
Mark lives across the plane on me and a couple time zones away, so we don't, we'll see each other at conferences.
Yeah.
All right. We'll say you said hello.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Dave.
When we get back, we have our news segment, and also Mark Sargent's coming on at 9:50. So we have a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock App, a dynamic new app to teach family and friends about where they actually live. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and days. The moon measures the weeks and months. The star constellations measure the seasons and years. 12/12 or 24-hour clock face, or go hands-free. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App with new added features. World Time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add your own or have the app change it to a new one automatically every time you use the app. Add a countdown to your next big date. Learn the truth about our world with the featured video of the day. Web button for additional flat Earth related features, from the mythical curve calculator all the way to Tartaria. While talking to friends, easily pull up pictures that expose the globe lie and shine light on the flat Earth truth. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth. And clean screen features. Simply click off the items you don't wish to see. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.